Hey, okay, so it's the post-breakfast live because during breakfast poetry live, there was no connection. So I did it on Instagram at Hipness_and_outrage. Have to get all the blue on there. So just a word to say, the Poetry Hats ebook is live. This is the cover. Now, I will put the link in the comments, and if you're on Instagram, you just follow, well, there's a link that's labeled, but also the book's link will get you there, or looking up Amy Zollers on I think I pointed the wrong way, Amazon.com, but I'll put that link in there. And the cover doesn't show up. Freaking, I did it on Papyrus Author, which is always very awesome. But for some reason, every time I tried to upload, every time I uploaded one of the block prints, it would put it on the page like this. And so then I'd go in and I'd turn it 270 degrees. Yay! There was no option for doing that when I uploaded the cover. So I think it was sideways and then they just didn't show it. So I don't know, maybe I'll tweak that later. But it is the final day of National Poetry Month. It's only 4 p.m. Central, and I'm really jazzed that it is now up there on the last day of National Poetry Month. You can read Poetry Hats. And what I'm going to do, you can see all the block prints and all the poems emblazoned on them, but I have the entire string right here, Poetry Hats, and I'm going to read it right now. Poetry Hats. If I had remained alone, well, I just learned that Albert Camus was gorgeous, with so great a cloud of hallucinated ghost children at my skirts. The neighbors wandered off and left their flags flying. All it takes is a naked ghost. He stood towering, though shadowy, from his travels. I can return to the grotto at night. I'm askance, and I rumble with meadow song. I would have fully as many cookie jars lying around, and no lover dropping in but him who brings my meds. But you are the teacher, cries no one. Roundelay, all of it much. I perch in the trance, just shy of acceptance, and strut like a bridge poet. Immaculate onion slices, send them to the moon. Someone grew inside of me who laughs now. Stir the night pancakes. My hair will whip in fierceness of wind. Faith waned at misunderstood blessings. Caroling drunk, the planet is done with me, indifferent to my nonsense, dead inside for a day, like a runaway plague nun. If I leave enough days in between one singer in a world of billions, blithely born in Berlin, the splendid things of every day I discard and squander. What did you do? Grow old and more beautiful? The lady loved us, wept the pines. The specter of your mother can go fly a kite. This is a failure of mine. Poetry Hats! Finally, at long last, the string of Poetry Hats. And I had like this hair across my mouth the entire time. Sometimes that is one of the challenges of doing a reading or any sort of performance. You just like kind of have to ignore it as best you can. But it is together. It is fully formed. A month of labor. Pulling out the phrase day by day and then posting it, like adding it to the block print, posting it on Instagram. And now we have the final product, and we have it as an ebook on Kindle through Amazon.com. If you have like Kindle Unlimited, it's free. I just uploaded it so I could see what it looked like. And lastly, I did unearth Walt Whitman's Brain Dropped on Laboratory Floor by Thomas Lux. And I believe it was written in 1988. I had an idea that maybe it was written in the 19th century when it all went down, but it looks like it's dated 1988. But I am excited to go ahead and read Thomas Lux, Walt Whitman's Brain Dropped on the Laboratory Floor as we wrap up National Poetry Month 2023. At his request, after death, his brain removed for science, phrenology to study, and as the mortuary assistant carried it, I suppose in a jar, but I hope cupped in his hands, across the lab stone floor, he dropped it. You could ask a forensic pathologist what that might look like. He willed his brain, as I said, for study, its bumps and grooves analyzed, allowing a deeper grasp of human nature, potential, so phrenology believed, and this kind of intense look, as opposed to mere fingering of the skull's outer ridges, valleys would afford particular insight. So Walt believed. He had already scored high between 6 and 7 for ego, and as we couldn't guess from his verses, he scored high again, a 6 and a 7, 7 the highest possible in amativeness. Sexual love. Oh, they define it on the next stanza. In amativeness, sexual love, and adhesiveness, friendship, brotherly love. When before his death his head was red, he earned only 5 for poetic faculties, but that 5, pulled and pushed by his other numbers, allowed our father of poesy to lay down some words in the proper order on the page. That our nation does not care does not matter much. That his modest federal job was taken from him, and thus his pension does not matter at all. And that his brain was dropped and shattered, a cosmos on the floor, matters even less. Thank you, Thomas Lux. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love that happened. I love how he knew the numbers from Walt Whitman's pre-mortem phrenology reading, and that he was only a 5 on the Pritchard scale of poetry, to make a reference from Dead Poets Society in a phrenology scale. So, jeepers, thanks for joining me for all of National Poetry Month. I hope you'll check out Poetry Hats. That's the black print I used for the cover. It is our long string of an entire National Poetry Month's worth of little poetic night gibberish beads. So get on in there and enjoy it. So have a glorious rest of the day. See you sometime. Bye-bye.